Bonjour! How's everybody doing? We hope you're doing well. It is Survivor Series season here at A Plus Sports. The Survivor Series pay-per-view War Games 2024 from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Don't you know? Apparently, my friend, this is the highest grossing North American arena event ever. Not just the highest grossing Canadian event ever, but the highest grossing North American arena event ever. They told us that like 12 times on this show. My name is Matt Ederer. I'm here with Andre from Edmonton. Andre C. How you doing, man? And can you believe that shit?
Uh, Not surprising because I remember looking at the prices because I have friends that live in that area, and I was like, God no, because the price of the ticket. I think the cheapest one I was looking at was like the nosebleeds was like $400 and some dollars. I'm like, no,
That's insane.
just no.
That is truly insane and unfair, but I guess that's the world we live in now. Life is far more expensive, but $400 to get in the building for that pay-per-view, while it was fun, it was good. That's crazy. Holy shit. But a big W for WWE and for Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and of course the Rogers Arena. Survivor Series 2024. Holy shit. That was the highest grossing event in WWE history.
Well, like arena show, right? Not the
Yes.
stadiums. Yeah, arena. It's the highest grossing, which is. But again, they're going to go somewhere else and have another PLE. Probably the PLE in Toronto. It'll beat it.
Yeah, you're right. You're
Chamber.
Right.
It'll probably beat it. So
your elimination chamber is going to be in a stadium, though. I think that was what they were trying to say. But you're completely right. It's still crazy though. It's still worth noting. So how did you feel about the show overall, man? It was kind of a weird one. Some things were happening, some storylines were progressing, but how'd you feel about the Survivor Series 2024?
Yeah, again, I quite enjoyed it. I'm a guy who doesn't watch everything on a like WWE on a weekly basis. I watch mainly following through podcasts, and Boris gives me good updates on when he does the Sunday shows and Post and Poison Rana. Like I follow the WWE product through, and and again I'm capable and I'm like, okay, this could be a good pay-per-view. Again, I was going into it for the main event, but I think it ended up overall this pay-per-view was really good, especially that world title match. I thought those two have such great chemistry. The Intercontinental title, I was like, oh geez, I'm sold on Ludwig Kaiser now. That's for goddamn sure. And I had a blast watching this show. I just hung out by myself, taking care of Mel's dog, and just watched a great pay-per-view. So
nice, man. Yeah, no, it was definitely a solid show. I had a lot of fun watching it too. Like, it was very straightforward, no big surprises, but that's fine. Sometimes you got to just like pay off the storylines that you have set up. And I feel like Survivor Series did that, did a really good job of it. Only 5 matches on the show. Let's quickly get into it, man. So the first match was Women's War Games. The heels, the bad girls in this case, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Tiffany Stratton, Candice LeRae, and Nia Jax against the babyface team of Rhea Ripley, Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Bayley. So this was pretty great. This was exactly what it needed to be.
Yeah, like I didn't see anything wrong. I was watching. I was like scrolling Facebook and different group chats that were going on, and people were saying, "Oh, their timing's off." It's like, and this isn't the shit on everything, but the timing for women's wrestling is never the same in timing for men's wrestling. It's never the same. That's where people, again, it's different people doing different things. I thought the timing was fine. Everything flowed pretty well. There was fumbles in this match, but there's fumbles in the main event. There's fumbles in every like it's just it's professional wrestling. I see fumbles in professional wrestling all the time. I enjoyed the hell out of this match. I thought the women did a really good job here. And I think Rhea, that mask, I love that mask. Holy crap.
Yeah, that's hardcore. It's like, yeah, a way better version of like Rip Hamilton from the Detroit Pistons in 2004. Like, yeah, Rhea Ripley out there killing fools with the Hamilton mask on. I love it. Yeah, and it was cool. This was a good match. I think I pretty much agree with your assessment there. I don't want to do like full play by play on this entire thing. Obviously, it was a War Games match, but I think it was very set up for Rhea to look good. In the end, she did vanquish Liv Morgan. This was a very good wrestling match. Like all 10 of the combatants did really well. Is there anything that sticks out in your mind in this thing, big homie?
I think just some good spots. I thought Raquel looked really good in there, doing some great power spots. Same with Nia Jax. Again, I was very anti Nia Jax for a long time, but I feel like I watching her here and I'm like, man, she has really improved and she's getting really solid. I was kind of hoping for the Tiffany cash-in to happen here that she was teasing, but
yeah,
it's not always gonna happen. But I enjoyed it. That finish though, that riptide off the top rope. Oh,
perfect finish. So yeah, just briefly, Bailey and Nia Jax started this match. Tough beat for Bailey having to go 30 minutes with Nia, but she done it. She did very good. There was a toilet seat involved at some point. Naomi, who does a lot of booty-based offense, Andre. I don't know if you're familiar with her work.
Yeah.
She put the toilet seat onto Nia's head. Indeed executed some booty-based offense. That's about as lowbrow as it gets. Shout out Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But it was a great match. Candice LeRae was in this match for the heel side. She looked great. Bianca Belair looked great. Tiffany Stratton had a chance to shine. Teased a cash in, as you say, did not do it. Io Sky entered 7th, grabbed a colorful trash can, and you knew what was happening as soon as you saw that colorful trash can. This was a bit of fun. War Games is doing its job lately. Like, you know exactly what you're going to get. But as you have already mentioned, the finish to this match comes when Rhea Ripley hits Liv Morgan with an avalanche riptide, by God, aka pump handle powerbomb off the top rope through a table, as it were. And Rhea Ripley pins Liv Morgan in 38 minutes and 10 seconds, according to Wikipedia, to win this match for the good gals, by God.
Yeah, I just thought overall everything flowed right. The pairings as they came out, it was weird to see the faces have the advantage though. That was, but it worked for the end of the match with Rhea coming in and then her be able to stand there and wait for Liv to come in last. That really worked.
That's a good call. The way they did the match, the way they set it up, actually did work with the flip on the formula. Because as you said, not only was Rhea able to be the 10th person in and to stand tall and to do this big, conquering thing anyway that she would have gotten. She was the 9th, not the 10th, but Rhea came in 9th, killed everyone. And the crowd goes nuts. And then 10th comes Liv Morgan in with a baseball bat. And the way they set that up was pretty good. And then obviously Rhea, had to overcome some beatdowns, but she did. I also like how when the match started, it was as though the heels had the advantage because Nia Jax was fucking just murking fools, just absolutely vaporizing hoes in there. And the way they set the match up was pretty good, Andre.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it was odd, but it made sense in the end to how you finish it, and just it worked out so well.
Absolutely. So a good match overall. And I would actually say 2 or 3 matches were even better, but this was still a good match on a good show overall. And yeah, Rhea Ripley looking great, needs to continue that momentum going now that she's been injured for a little bit. She kind of needs to build back up a ways to remind people that she's an ass kicker and she's the queen of this division. And the way they set that up was perfect.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. Match number 2, my friend, for the Men's United States Championship. LA Knight, Los Angeles Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura. This was a very good match as well. Quick and to the point, I thought. 9 minutes and 45 seconds, according to Wiki. But this was some good stuff. And we have a new champion.
Yeah, Shinsuke Nakamura is, and I love the new look, the black robes, the samurai style, Bushido style helmet that he had, whatever it is, that helmet he comes out to do, and the edit to the music, how It's very slow and paced now. I thought absolutely phenomenal. I think his whole presentation now, and the match itself, I really enjoyed. Again, I've always LA Knight since his days in NWA, in TNA when he was Eli Drake, and to coming in sadly as that other under that other name, but now getting to really show what he is good at as LA Knight. He's so solid. He's so good. But I think giving Shinsuke the title here was the right thing to do. And it just, if you're going to go forward, and maybe LA Knight gets it back in a few months. We don't know. But again, I think these two just had a solid, good match on a good show.
Yeah, absolutely right. A veteran performance this match was. A couple of longtime pros going at it, having a great match on pay-per-view. Like, just no mistakes. Nakamura spits the black mist now, which is of note. Of course, more devastating than the green mist. Black mist is the deadliest mist, Andre. So yeah, Nakamura fucking inked this man like a squid coming up to this match. And a very good wrestling match. Nakamura in the end hits the Kinshasa, his finishing move, the running knee to the back of the head, usually to a kneeling opponent, and he wins the title. 9 minutes 45 seconds according to Wikipedia. Fucking just straightforward to the point, putting Nakamura over exactly what it needed to be. And now they can try to heat LA Knight up a little more in the chase, either of this belt or perhaps another belt, perhaps a tag team title if he gets a partner, perhaps going for Cody Rhodes and or Gunther or Damian Priest or whoever it might be for the world title. I think they can do a lot with old Los Angeles Knight right now.
I agree. Again, he has so much upside. Yeah, he's older, but look at Damian Priest. They're I think they're the same age, and they're both in their early 40s, but they're both absolutely killing it right now.
That's honestly like the end of the prime years in wrestling at this point. Look at Jericho. Look at all these people like Minoru Suzuki, Katsuyori Shibata, who's kind of actually similar age, honestly, at this point to Damian Priest and Crew and Nakamura. But like the wrestlers' primes extend longer than they do for like a fucking tennis player or something. You know what I mean? So
100%.
we could see LA Knight get a world title run in his career for sure. And if they ever did want to bump him up, now would be the time. It is still better to strike, when the iron is somewhat hot.
Yep.
Match number 3, man, this match blew me out of my socks. I love this one. A triple threat match for the men's intercontinental title. Braun Breaker versus Ludwig Kaiser versus Sheamus. This match just fucking ruled. It was classic. Ludwig, the technical wizard, not a powerhouse, but very technically sound, almost like an Owen Hart type Pokemon, if you will. Owen was a little faster, a little more flippy, but Ludwig has some Owen Hart in him. Braun Breaker was the buzzsaw, the Goldberg, the powerhouse, the beast imposing his will, and Sheamus was the old dog, the old veteran. He had the know-how, he had the moxie, and the way they mixed these styles and told this story, I thought this was a fucking great match. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, again, they did so many spots in here that led from one thing one person did into a move that another person did. They go on their outside. Braun was going to do his run around to knock Sheamus into the steps, but Kaiser cut him off, and Kaiser kicked Sheamus into the steps. But then all of a sudden, Braun Breaker comes out of nowhere, taking out Kaiser with a flying shoulder block, and just such smooth stuff there. And
yes.
Yeah.
No, exactly right. It's just the way they put things together and their execution in it too. Like Sheamus is still so good, but like Ludwig Kaiser and Braun Breaker, especially, two amazing athletes, really crisp, good young wrestlers. This match just came together brilliantly. I honestly would hear an argument this was the best match on the show. I think you can convince me of that. This was a great wrestling match.
Yeah, honestly, because again, the story they told in here was absolutely phenomenal. Like with Kaiser going for his first title, Sheamus going after the only belt he has not won in this company that he's eligible for outside. I guess could never have won the 205 live title, but any title he's ever been eligible for. So having that story, then Braun Breaker being this guy, like, I will not be destroyed. I already had a hiccup in my reign, but I will not be destroyed. And just to have that dominant win for him in here, while making giving Ludwig and Sheamus so much in here, absolutely rocked.
Yes, absolutely. And I like the way they gave Ludwig, like, obviously he's not going to overpower these two beasts, but they did let him get his shine in. They did let him get his clever little spots in. In the end, Ludwig is vanquished on the outside. It is Sheamus versus Braun. Who can hit their move first? And Braun, too young, too strong, too fast, hits his move. It is the spear, and Braun Breaker pins Sheamus to win this match in 14 minutes 25 seconds, according to Wikipedia. Never wrong, as we know. And yeah, this was fucking great. Great stuff.
Yeah, awesome match. Awesome match. I would love to see this theory run back. I want to see Braun and Sheamus go at it singles. I want to see Braun and Ludwig go at it singles. I like maybe even Sheamus versus Ludwig in a number one contenders again. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. That brings us to match number 4 out of 5 on this card for the WWE Raw World Title men's version. Damian Priest versus Gunther. So Gunther wins this match due to Finn Balor interference again. I'm sure a lot of wrestling fans will just not even give it a chance because of that. They'll just they'll read the results, be like, that's boring, not even give it a chance. Honestly, that's not even wrong. Like, objectively, I understand your thinking if you're that wrestling fan. I kind of like the story they're telling where Priest is Gunther's kryptonite. Priest has Gunther's number, but he can actually never get the win, because his past keeps coming in the way. Like, he's going to beat Gunther, but the dickheads from his past who want to hold him back, Finn Balor and such, they're actually holding him back, and he can't move on from those guys, and that's why he can't beat Gunther. I kind of like that story. Like, Damian Priest can actually match him in terms of size and in terms of strength, in terms of athleticism, but he can't match Gunther's intelligence. He can't match his dedication to the ring. He has all this street fucking bullshit happening in the background.
Yeah, I liked having those two have such differences. I wasn't a fan of the beginning of the match with Gunther like kind of playing a little scared, because it's, even though I know they're telling the story of he's unsure of himself, Gunther that man doesn't get scared. He's Gunther, man. He murders people. Again, the match itself, like, Priest has come along so, even since he dropped the title, he has just evolved in such a great way. Like, again, the character change has really helped in that. Having just this shift in how good it's just, I don't know, and the selling of the work with his arm, I thought he did a great job. So did Gunther, working over his arm. I thought it was just great back and forth in there. Gunther just he sits 1B to my Zack Sabre Jr. 1A in who I think the greatest wrestlers of all time are, and that's my feeling. But like, these two are just so goddamn good, and this match was just amazing. Like, I thought these two did so well in here, and this is what I'd argue, because of the finish, that I wouldn't try to argue somebody that this was the match of the show. If it wasn't for Finn Balor getting involved, I would call this, because again, it muddies the water, but it was very close to being one of the best matches on. In ring, it was one of the best matches on the show, and the story was told so well.
No, for sure. I can agree with that. Like, execution wise, possibly the best match in the show. Just like, I feel like, yeah, as I said, don't sleep on this match because you read the finish and you're like, oh, they've already done this. This actually was like way better than their previous match. This was a very good wrestling match. I think these guys have great chemistry, as you said. But yes, Finn Balor does hit the double stomp onto Damian Priest on the outside of the ring, and Gunther hits a powerbomb and chokes this fool out to retain the World Heavyweight Championship in 19 minutes and 20 seconds in front of the Vancouver faithful. Gunther defeats Damian Priest yet again because Finn Balor interfered yet again.
You and Boris have said this multiple times on how you guys rate a match. You guys rate on the work rate, but you also work on the story. And that's why I say this can't be my match of the night, because the story took a kind of a dive at the end with Balor. It just took me out of the story. And then that beginning little portion of Gunther running scared, but so good. So good.
Yes, absolutely agree 100% with your assessment there. Yeah. And I feel like it's theater, right? Like, it isn't just a gymnastics meet. It isn't just a figure skating contest. Like, there is some kind of storytelling. There is some kind of narrative element that needs to be acknowledged in, because otherwise, not that I dislike Dave Meltzer, but like you're just doing Dave Meltzer, and we've already done Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer did Dave Meltzer. I think this is like the way to look at wrestling, and I totally agree. In the ring, bell to bell, great match, awesome between two professionals, but like they're just killing time story wise. Does it not feel that way? Just killing time to get to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tough beat for all involved, but still good stuff. Thank you very much for coming to Vancouver and laying that down for the fans. And that brings us to the main event, Andre, match number 5 out of 5. It is a War Games match, New Bloodline versus Bloodline Classic. By God, it's Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa, Tongaloa, Tama Tonga, and Bronson Reed. Those are the heels versus the baby faces, aka Bloodline Classic. Roman Reigns, CM Punk for one night only, joining the squad with Jimmy Uso, Jay Uso, and Sami Zayn in tow. I feel like this will probably be the popular choice for match of the night, and the storytelling was on point in this one for sure.
Yeah, again, I won't argue with anybody saying it. I would edge it out to the triple threat just because it sold me on, like, I've always been a Braun Breaker fan, but sold again that triple threat sold me on Braun Breaker and Ludwig Kaiser. But this is telling the biggest story in this company that's been going on for what, 4.5 years now, the Bloodline, and it's had its dips, it's had its downs, but it has had wonderful ups, and this is one of the wonderful peaks in this story, and just doing such a good job with the New Bloodline having the advantage throughout the match, and just when they locked the cage on Roman so he couldn't get in, when Roman was blocking CM Punk from being able to go out, and him getting pissed, and then him Punk subverting him and getting out before Roman could get out, and just all the story they told there, absolute perfection in how they did it all. And then Heyman coming down to rally the team to get them back into cohesion so they could fight, and just so good. Such a told story. Crazy shit happened in this match. It was so good.
So good. Yeah, man. They really did a good job. They really took the time to beat this one out. As you mentioned, Heyman coming down to rally the troops when it felt like they were up against the wall and the infighting was too much. CM Punk and Roman Reigns figured it out due to the help of Paul Heyman. Yeah, this was just a lot of fun. So it feels like Jacob Fatu has been working like a worked shoot knee injury thing for a long time. This match, oh man, there was a spot where he does like a split-legged moonsault or tries to do like a moonsault of some kind and gets pretty, he takes a bad bump, sells the knee for the rest of the match. On one hand, it's like, it's so great that Jacob Fatu has got us wondering, but like, I hope this man's okay. Do you think he's hurt? Do you think he's actually hurt?
I think he did originally get hurt, and he might maybe still have some lingering issues, but I don't think he got hurt here. I think he did get hurt, and that boot was for real. That boot he did have, I think that was for real, but he's healed. It wasn't as bad as people think, but he's back, because that man, if you watched him in MLW, his selling is probably the best sell job since Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's been anybody better than him since, like anybody as good as him since Shawn Michaels. Because
that's the thing, man.
Yeah.
He's such a good seller, like reminiscent, like you said, of a Shawn Michaels or a Bret Hart or a Macho Man Randy Savage, guys who would sell body parts and make it a part of the match, like a story of the match. So if anyone would do it, it's Jacob Fatu. But yeah, maybe it's a real injury that they're milking longer. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's been speculated, and I agree with this, that it's, if not an injury, a perfect way to prolong the inevitable Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa in a way, but definitely like Jacob Fatu is eventually going to take over this bloodline, and you don't need to tell that story right away. Let it build. But yeah, this guy's great, and I hope he is not injured. Good stuff overall. Eventually, all of the baby faces end up in one cage with Solo Sikoa, and they all deliver finisher after finisher after finisher, and then Roman Reigns pins him to win. The baby faces, the original Bloodline, Roman Reigns, the Usos, Jay and Jimmy, Sami Zayn, and CM Punk win in 41 minutes and 55 seconds, according to Wikipedia.
Yeah, and again, it did. It honestly, like I knew the match was going to be minimum half an hour because that just gets everybody in the cage. And
Yes.
honestly, it didn't feel like 42 minutes. It felt like it just flowed so well. Everything worked so nicely. It didn't feel that long to me. And I don't know, it just everything seemed to click so well in here. And the story it's told, the crazy spots, I almost said Jonah, Bronson Reed coming off the top through a table with nobody on it, taking him out. Then that splash off the top by was it Jimmy off the top with the Uso splash? I think it was Fatu through the table. Just
Yep.
great, just crazy good spots, and that finish, the sacrificial lamb of Solo Sikoa being destroyed by everybody was just a perfect way to finish it.
Yeah, I agree. They made Solo look good in defeat. Like it took 5 guys delivering all of their kill shots to beat Solo Sikoa. He died on his shield. That's good. The storytelling between Roman Reigns and CM Punk and the intrigue for what will happen next with Paul Heyman. We're going to see this man again. What will it be? Will he be on CM Punk's side? Will he be on Roman Reigns' side? Will somebody turn? What's going to happen? Eventually, we're going to see Punk versus Reigns. Yeah, this was just a great bit of storytelling. A great issue in the comic book series that is Bloodline versus Bloodline, the Civil War of WWE. This was a comic book movie of a wrestling match, but it was great. I loved it.
Oh hell yeah, man! Just like it's just another great issue in the storyline, and I loved it. I just the one thing that will when you have this story set up for a pay per view, it sells me. Like I didn't watch all of Crown Jewel, but I sure as hell watched the Solo Sikoa match. Like
Nice.
these things get me to watch things when you have a story this goddamn good.
Absolutely. It's been going for so long. They've put so much care into it that it has definitely earned our respect as viewers. Like for sure. You just said it. I definitely feel the same way as well, man. Like it's not like the show is flawless. I feel like you could say a couple things. For one, Chelsea Green, man, you got to put Chelsea Green on this show. Pay-per-view in Vancouver. She would have been a huge baby face. Let her make an entrance and knock out a heel.
Yeah.
Let her do something. Pile drive Jerry the King Lawler, put a pie and doink the clown's face. Who the fuck cares? Let her do something in front of this crowd.
Yeah, you have one of the best Canadian stars out there, man. She's Chelsea Green is amazing, and how you don't have her out there to get a pop from that crowd in her home province. Like, I'm pretty sure she's from BC, right?
Yes, oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, Victoria, I believe. Yeah, BC
yeah.
girl. She
So
would have been a huge star on this show.
yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like I had two of my buddies were at this show, and I guarantee both would have popped for Chelsea Green easily.
Guaranteed, for sure. She would have been. She would have. The roof would have fucking blown off the place. Here's what I want to see for Chelsea Green. Here's my note for her character. Okay, check this out. So, okay, if you remember Roman Reigns, or sorry, no, that's wrong. Remember Randy Orton when he first showed up? He was the Legend Killer, and he was absolutely murdering Harley Race, Cactus Jack, Dusty Rhodes, all these people. Like he was laying waste to actual legends, and then Heath Slater tried to do like his version of the Legend Killer gimmick, and he was getting obliterated by the real legends, right? So that was
Yeah.
a way that he was like trying to do his Randy Orton thing, but he was like, I don't know, like completely out to lunch. Obviously, it's Heath Slater. He's like a crazy bad guy. So I think with Chelsea, she needs to be the crazy bad guy like Heath Slater has been, except she puts the twist on it by killing like jobbers, like the Barry Horowitzes, the Skips, obviously rest in peace, Chris Candido. But she
like
needs to be like, she needs to kill the Heath Slaters. She needs to go out there and find the worst wrestlers of all time. Obviously, there's a gender issue there, but you can find like the Harley Camerons of the world and have
Yeah.
her like
Eh,
crush.
and not to hate on her, but like have her kill Maxine Dupree, who's a
Yes.
prominent character, but is a jobber in the women's division. Have her kill her. Have her kill some of the people at her level. Like, just do that.
I want to see her go through a mid-card Goldberg streak where she thinks she's the greatest wrestler. She thinks she's Kurt Angle. She thinks she's Chris Benoit circa '04. And then when she runs into a Bianca Belair or a Bailey, she gets murked. But like through the undercard, maybe she goes to NXT and thinks she's the greatest. I don't know, but there's something about her ability. She's a very good in-ring wrestler, which obviously she's not like, Io Shirai or whatever, Io Sky, but she's got such a great personality. There's got to be a way to use her. You got to figure out how to put her in front of the crowd in Vancouver. BC gal.
Yeah. Girlberg. Here you go. We got Girlberg. Bring her in, man. Let's do this. But yeah, no, it really should have happened, but it didn't. And I'm very disappointed by it. And they're going to, and they're leaving. They're not even doing Raw in Canada. They're heading to Washington or something for Raw. So it's like, or Oregon.
Sad.
Or
feels like an opportunity missed, man. But maybe they can pick it up next time. Girlberg is great. Galberg, I love it. But yeah, keep this on the back burner and Tony Khan AEW if you want it. Harley Cameron can do it too. But yeah, I feel like killing bitches in the mid card. It's just a great. It's a recipe for success.
Yep.
All right, man. This was a lot of fun. This was a very fun wrestling show from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Shinsuke Nakamura becomes the first man to win a WWE title in the city of Vancouver. Everyone else retained. The baby faces won. A good night overall. Bunch of fun was had.
Yep. Great time.
Great time talking to you, buddy. Great stuff. This is A+ Wrestling. If you enjoyed this podcast, we do this kind of thing every time there's a big show, and we'll be doing more and more. I feel like we should fire up a Patreon coming soon, but we appreciate you listening. Thank you all very much, and keep it locked here for more videos, Patreon things, video and audio, and more content about pro wrestling and life and sports and everything Canada from my friend in Edmonton who is buried in snow right now.
It's snowing more right now. So,
oh, so much shoveling to do, Andre. Dr. Dre, by fucking God, homie. Oh, buried. Well, good luck digging yourself out tomorrow. We love you, man. Stay safe out there. And thank you all for, very much for listening. Oh, Canada.